Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to look at an AM5 board. Yep, this is my first time looking over and talking about an AM5 motherboard. So this is the B650 Aero G Creator board. Let's check this thing out because this one caught my attention and I had to get it. I just had to get it. I figured if I'm going to get into AM5, let's start with this. Okay guys, so as a creator board, of course, it's going to have a bunch of different features. I'll try and go over those here as we're going over the overview. But there's a thing called Vision Link connectivity, and it's got some odd, I'm going to say USB-C in-out thing. I don't know. I got to take a look at this because, again, this is new to me. I've not ever had a creator board or ever reviewed or looked at one. So let's just get this guy open and see what we got in the box. Like normal, you're greeted with the motherboard first, and I'm going to just take that and put it aside. And that's just because I want to go through what's inside here. Okay, right off the hop, we have this cable here, and it is a DisplayPort to DisplayPort cable. And this allows, from what I understand, this to link the video card and the possibility, I guess, of onboard. I'm not 100% here. This is new. This is very new to me, and you wouldn't normally see this unless it was a creator board, but it does show DisplayPort showing a video card here. So this is your video card in, so I guess it is directional, and then your motherboard. So that's interesting all on its own. That's something we're going to have to look at down the road and see when I do the actual setup and review of this board what that actually does. Alright, this is nice. They put a little cover, I guess, on their antenna. This is a Wi-Fi 6 and of course dual connector to the motherboard, and I like that finish where they just went pure white on that. Here we have some extra screws for your NVMEs. Extra piece to screw into your board for your NVMe. Okay, this I've never seen before in my life. It looks like some sort of a sensor. I'll have to look that one up, but it definitely clips into the board and then goes somewhere. It's got little adhesive things already with it. And of course you have your two SATA cables. So nothing crazy except this cable and this cable. And these are the two new things that I'm definitely going to have to look at and learn about. This one troubles me even more. That's just a little pamphlet of some sort. Okay guys, here's the Vision Link cable connection guide. Now this is interesting. So basically there's a USB-C, and then you go to your pen tablet or draw or art tablet or art screen tablet, and that hooks that up for you through this Vision Link design, which also displays video. Now, so it's showing here going in, and then it's also showing power going into the DC in, and then you have your line in for your... Now, this might be one of their own type of pen displays they're trying to show off, but again, I don't know. I haven't seen that yet. I will probably look that up down the road. And then we have your DisplayPort out on your video card to DisplayPort in on here, and I think that feeds information and necessary video to this, so it's not just using onboard. That's my guess on this. That's my take on it. I will look that up and we will talk about that in the review video. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this board is sexy. I do like this arm here. They made it longer. Do you see this? So it goes out and up instead of having a button somewhere, which is fine. I mean, the button's cool, absolutely. But this is cool because they made it sure that it was out in the open and you're able to reach it still. Now, because your video card would go this way, they made this go this way. So that's kind of interesting. Now, a couple things here. You're going to see that this board is definitely heat sinked everywhere, and your NVMEs and all that other gear go underneath here. And I believe this is also one as well. Now I'm going to take this off because I am seeing something down here. But first, before we do that, let's do a quick overhead of the board. So of course it has a massive, massive heat sink here. So your VRM, well taken care of, and Gigabyte's very famous for that. And there's another VRM heat sink right there. And of course solid caps, you wouldn't expect any different. I put this Aero G board kind of on the line with an Aurorus board, design-wise, but it technically is not. We have 4 DDR5 slots here. We have tons, or at least it looks like tons, of fan headers. So we have your CPU or CPU and water block or pump connections right here. Another fan right here. Here's your LED or ARGB lighting going on here. Looks like we have a power button right here and a reset button here. So it's kind of, honestly, this kind of reminds me of my master board, my X570S. And I wouldn't be surprised that if they didn't take that idea and made this creator board. Now, we have a couple connectors here. I'm not sure what those are yet. We have 2 more fan headers here. And let's see if there's any more running on this board right now. That's our ARGB. Okay, so we have 3 more. Wow. This board is loaded. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 fan headers on this board. 8. I don't know if that's the most I've seen so far, but damn, that's a lot. That's awesome. Props on that one, Gigabyte. We have, of course, a PCIe 16 or 8 here. We have their short stubby guy right here. And we have our video card, the PCIe 16. Solid caps down here for the audio. We have your F audio for the front. RGB, ARGB. So that's your TPM. So I will have to look that up. And then your COM. So you can actually plug in a COM port. Of course, fans. And then you have USB 2, USB 1. And those are going to be 3.1 or 3.2s. And then you have your header for your motherboard. Okay, moving on. We have your 24 pin right here. And oddly, only an 8 and a 4 here instead of the twin 8. Now, again, I'm going to be using a Ryzen 7900 in here, and it's the low TDP, so I don't have to worry about any of that, so it shouldn't require monstrous power. Lighting, there's still so much lighting on this as well, because here's 2 more RGB, another ARGB, so that's 3, 4, 5 that I'm seeing right off the hop. So 5 different RGB/ARGB ports. Pretty impressive. That's actually pretty cool. I know on a creator board you really need all the light, but hey, why not, right? I believe this lights up and this lights up as well. Of course, your socket, I'm not going to open this because I do not want to risk any droppage or anything weird happening on it. But in the test video, you'll see me, I'll do a little while I'm putting it in. Everything I expect here to be all high-end, I get it. It's all solid, and those are things you expect anyway. Your USB-C front header right here, so that's pretty awesome. You have a ERP-ready connection here. On the side here, we have 4 SATA ports. I'm not sure if I'll be using them in the build. I'm going to see how many NVMEs go on here and what sizes I'm going to put in. We have our USB 3.1 header right here for the front of the case. Here's where things get completely different from what I'm used to on a normal PC. For starters, you can see we have a line out, mic, and fiber optic. There's no other connections whatsoever on here for audio. And in normal cases, I'm going to probably be putting a Creator or a Creative Labs sound card in here anyway. But I'm not sure I have to, because I think this one has it or uses its tech. So Wi-Fi 6, USB 2.0s right here. HDMI DisplayPort in, not out. Okay, so that's DisplayPort in for daisy chaining your motherboard video and your graphics. USB-C, and then a USB 3.2, and then 4 more 3.2s here, 2 more 3.2s here, and of course a 2.5, I believe it's a 2.5 gig, yeah, 2.5 gig network jack. So decently stacked for what it is, and considering the capability on the board, we definitely have a lot of use that we can definitely change and do things with. But now we're going to take these off because I want to see what is underneath here. Okay, so we're going to start with this one. Let's see, do I have enough of that out? Guess not. Motorized screwdrivers are phenomenal for certain uses, and then they completely suck in others. So I'm just going to flip. I don't know if the screws are going to fall out. So there's actually thermal pads right here, which is really cool. So I'm going to lay that aside. And what is this? So this actually has a removable Wi-Fi. That is pretty cool, which means I can upgrade it. That's even cooler. But it is Wi-Fi 6, and I'm pretty stoked to see that it's an actual removable Wi-Fi card. That's very interesting, actually. So we have 2 NVMe's here. Oh, look at this. We have lockdown pins instead of having to put screws in. Finally, Gigabyte. Thank you very much for that. That's awesome. I like how there's little pieces clipped into the board where the wires can run through and stay nice and neat. So 2 there. Let's find out what's here. Now this is in the way a little. Okay, so of course another thermal pad here. So we have thermal pads. Are they going to fall out? Nope. Thermal pads all throughout, of course, that makes sense. And this one looks like it has a thermal pad on the bottom as well. That's pretty interesting to me. That's kind of cool. Okay guys, so I took that off pretty much for no reason. What happened was I don't know if you're going to see that on the camera proper, but I seen a groove going all the way down, and it made me believe that there was a possibility that there was another port there, but there isn't. So, all good. So I'll put that back together and hope that didn't damage anything. Okay guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this board? I think it's pretty awesome. But again, it's my first time dabbling into the AM5 market, and I really wanted a creator board for a long time. And I decided that this was the one to go for. Let me know if you already have one. And thank you for sitting through this quick overview. Again, there will be a video coming soon for this unit being put in and installed and running. And I'll explain a lot of everything as I learn a lot of it all, because there's a lot of changes on here that I'm not used to. So smash that, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications so you don't miss this thing up and running and find out what this bad boy can really do, because there's a few things that I need it to do, and I hope this takes care of all my situations.